Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and welcome to another recorded review. There's some big news coming up, so I would suggest if you're a fan of what we do, or if you've been committed to what we do, you definitely want to stick around. Not all pleasantries, of course. It isn't. I am extremely under the weather. I have been quite crazy ill over the past 4 weeks. And that's all being looked into. If you're in the Discord, you're up to date with absolutely everything. But yes, welcome to another review. If I sneeze, if I mute my mic, blow my nose, forgive me. I'm not gonna edit. It is what it is. But Dragon's Dogma 2 on the Xbox Series X is what we reviewed, and I am a massive, and I mean massive, fan of the original Dragon's Dogma and Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen. Capcom's phenomenal Black Sheep RPG, in my opinion. The game was absolutely incredible. So the news that Dragon's Dogma 2 was being worked on and pushed out excited me greatly. I went into this review with massive high hopes. Massive. So the question really is, did the game turn out to be a masterpiece like its predecessor, in my opinion? Or did it turn out to be a colossal fucking disaster? The point of this review, I'll keep it spoiler free as much as I possibly can, but let's crack on with it. The very first thing that we look into, because we do these reviews in the exact same way all the time, it's always the same, and the reason that we keep to the same structure is to try and make it as fair as possible. We don't want to be biased, you know, we don't want to favor, we want to be as truthful as possible. And my hardcore community that have been around me for the 10 years of streaming, they know it don't matter if it's a part of my favorite franchise. If the game is shit, I'll say that I feel the game is shit. It's as simple as that. The very first thing that we look into with all our reviews is the choice of music used. Now, being a massive fan of the original game and remembering a lot of how the original game sounded, Dragon's Dogma 2 does not disappoint. It does follow suit, keeping very, very, very close to the original scripting of music that they used in the first game. So the similarities are quite crazy. It almost to God, it's like they just copied and pasted. I'm not gonna lie. Was I happy with the audio? Yes. Did I have any audio problems? Yes. I did have a lot of audio clipping and a lot of audio dipping out, dipping in every once in a while playing the game. I know my headset is pretty bloody good at throwing the audio straight into my brain. So I've got the volume turned up so I can hear as much as I can, because I do want to analyze every aspect of this game. And I wasn't disappointed with the music at all. The music is pretty good. I do miss the original take on Dragon's Dogma, the original hardcore rock type music, and I wish that they would definitely venture down that avenue more often, because that music was so good to listen to. Even though it was only a game menu music, it was still really good. So in terms of the choice of music used, I can't fault it. It sounds almost identical to the original, and I was absolutely happy with it. But looking at the effects, the actual audio effects, we can actually look into it quite heavily with the weapons. You can also look at it as well from a magic point of view, because there is a lot of magic in this game, and there is audio effects for everything that work very well. The explosions are very crisp, very loud, and they work very efficiently for me. The voice acting is pretty decent. I'm gonna say it didn't blow me away. It really didn't blow me away. I was hoping that Capcom would add a feature to stop a lot of the repeated gossip from the pawns that follow you around. I mean, I put 114 hours of this, and I heard every sentence from every pawn maybe 40, 50, 60 times. It's just, there's so much repetition. It's fucking crazy. It truly is. The first game did the same thing though. That's why I was hoping that in the second game maybe they would make it a little bit more realistic, where the pawns weren't always repeating the same shit over and over again. It's fucking annoying. If you want my honest opinion, it is annoying after a while. the characters all had very unique voice actors or actresses. I can't fault them. The job that they did was absolutely fantastic. I was able to listen and hear everyone nice and cleanly. There wasn't any characters that I couldn't understand. There weren't any characters that spoke just complete gobbledygook and gibberish. So yeah, there really isn't really much I can dive into, or even criticize, other than the hiccups that we had with the audio effects every once in a while. So moving straight forward, the next thing that we look into is the graphics, and the game doesn't have to look pretty. It doesn't. The game doesn't. It just has to work. And in this instance, did the game visually work? Yes, it did. The open terrain looked gorgeous at times as well, and I massively enjoy exploring at night time. I always do. So looking up at the sky and just running around in the darkness, it looked fantastic. Did it blow me away though? No. Did it feel almost identical to the original but with slight graphic tweaks? Yes. And that's a small bit of disappointment there, because especially with the magic, I wanted everything to look amazing, absolutely amazing. And the color palette that they utilize in this game is very good. Don't get me wrong, with the glowing colors as well, the neon effects as well. But it just didn't blow me away, because it looked very similar to the original. And maybe that's what they wanted to do with this game. Maybe they wanted it to look almost completely identical to the original without massive visual improvements. There are improvements though. You can see them. But it's just not massive. It's just not, oh my god, this is hugely amazing. They did an okay job. A moderate job. An okay job. But we didn't encounter any real hiccups with the graphics itself. I'm talking screen tearing. We did have quite a bit of frame drops. Like, holy shit. At times the frames would absolutely like go to shit and slow everything down pretty gnarly wise. But again, it works. And that's the most important thing. It works. There's no missing textures that I was aware of. No blank square, black random fucking squares where the designers just couldn't be bothered to put something there and they just put a black square there instead. We didn't really encounter any of those problems. The weapon effects looked great. The spells looked great. But it just didn't over the top blow me away. Gameplay mechanics, it plays identical in pretty much every single way to the first game. Again, as if they right-clicked, copied, right-click, paste. That's it. And that made it very, very, very simple to play this game for me, because I put a lot of hours in the first game. So it kind of naturally rolled very, very, very well off the tongue in a way. For anyone that's new to the series though, and if you pick this game up first instead of the original, it's a very simplistic combat system. Super simple. Each class having a variety of move sets, and you can customize 4 unique abilities from that class that you choose, or the vocation that you choose. Again, ripped from the original, no real deviation there. But it's smooth. It works very, very well. You can have quite a bit of fun with it itself. But I was hoping that it being the sequel, and that being more than 10 years after its original, that they would utilize the mapping of the controllers a little bit better to give us more moves than just 4. But yeah, it could have done more, in my opinion, around that. And I don't know if I didn't know if they just done a copy and paste because it was just easier to do it that way, or if they just wanted to keep it the exact same style. But to me, a second game should always be leaps and bounds better than the original. And I mean taking it into a new direction, adding more content, and making the game stand out better than its predecessor. And this didn't really do that with the combat. It was like I keep saying, like a copy and paste. Just done. Easy. And that's a bit of a shame. It is a bit of a shame. Yes, they added a few new classes that the original game did not have. And we will talk heavily about it, because there's one class in general that just kind of ruined the entire fucking game, to be fair. It truly did. Actually, I'll talk about it now. Fuck it. There is a Warfarer class that you could unlock. Not too far into the game, to be fair. Now, how the game works is, as you choose class, you choose equipment to fit said class. So if you're a mage, you need to be geared up as a mage. If you're a warrior, you need to be geared up as a warrior. And there are several classes that you can choose from at the very, very beginning. They're not all unlocked. You get the base classes. And then after the base classes, you can unlock specialist classes or vacations. Like mine, for me, my favorite was the Spearhead. I absolutely loved that class. It was a dual blade user. I fell in love with it like that. I could not be more excited to play that class, and I had so much fun playing as it. But the objective really is to work through the classes to unlock all of the abilities that are in that class. You can also unlock all of the core skills and all the augments as well, which are perks that you can utilize across any class, but you can only have, I think it's like 6 or 7. So once you've unlocked the augments of a priest, you can use those on other classes, which is pretty badass. It means that you can then basically customize your own character the way that you want to with certain traits. And you can do the exact same thing with your pawn, your psychic that follows you around, the one that you create. And there is a class that you can unlock called, as I said, the Wayfarer, which lets you become a hybrid. You can pretty much equip whatever clothing that you want, regardless of what class it belongs to. You can also equip any weapon you want, regardless of what class it belongs to. And as you run around, you earn experience for that class because you have to work through it anyway. But at the same time, the game rewards all the other classes that you've unlocked free experience, meaning that you don't necessarily have to even touch any other class in the game and experience it for yourself at all. You could just completely ignore them, which is a big fucking killer for me. Like a major killer. And I don't think that should ever be a thing in the game. Ever. Because playing through those classes is the whole fun factor of using that class and learning that class. And it's a great way to study them so you know how they work. You know their pros and their cons. And to basically create a class that offers all the other classes free experience so they level up without you even being that class is a massive slap in the fucking face for a completionist. Which I do consider myself a bit of a completionist. I do. I wasted so much time going through every single class, unlocking every single weapon skill that they had, every augment they had, every core skill they had, and I didn't have to do that. I could have just waited until I unlocked the Wayfarer class, play as that class, kill everything that gets in my way, and level up all the classes at once without even having to bother wasting my time. And I think that's dumb. I really do. I think that is absolutely fucking stupid. I think the Wayfarer class should be a secret class that unlocks once you've mastered every other class. I think that's how they should have done it, but they haven't done it that way. And it was very easy to unlock the Wayfarer class, to be fair. Very easy. You just needed a few items. And then it's yours. That's it. And then you can go around dressed up whatever you want and use whatever you want. It's just, it ruins it massively for me, if you want my honest opinion. It really does kill the game for me. Replayability and game difficulty. Yes, there is quite a huge factor of replayability in this game. Huge. There are a average amount of quests to grab. I wouldn't even say there's a 50% level of quest. There's a below that. 66, I believe, in total. Story quests in an RPG. Story and side quests. Sorry, they put them together. And that's not enough. That really isn't enough. In a massive open world RPG experience, 66 quests is a bit of a piss take. Just clearly not enough. And what really fucking kills this game so badly is that the quests don't appear on the map. What I mean by that, if you to be as crystal clear as I can, you could run past an NPC and not realize they're a quest giver. No clue. No fucking clue whatsoever, because there's no marker above their head. There's no quest board. There's nothing. Now, I want to always get every single quest done that I can possibly get done. I always want to try to achieve the best ending in the game as well. And that's extremely difficult when certain side quests are not shown on the map. And it bogs my fucking brain, to be completely honest, why that's not even a thing in this game. And it annoyed the shit out of me. Just prior to playing Dragon's Dogma 2, we put a serious amount of time, it's in the last review, playing Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. And that game showcased where the quests were. You know, you go to a quest board, pick up some quests, you walk into town, and you can see on the map the NPCs that have quest lines. I absolutely love that way of doing it. It's easy. Stress-free, crack on with it, job done. This game's like, good fucking luck, have fun, you're on your own. Oh, there was a quest in that building, but we're not going to tell you that. So you ran past I ran past a fucking building 50, 60, 70 times. Never knew there was a quest inside there. Never knew. Never knew. I did go in there, because I do loot every building I can, because I'm a loot whore. But unless you speak to that NPC, the quest doesn't trigger. Unless you inspect certain items, the quest doesn't start. It's just fucking dumb. It's dumb. It really is. And not only that, but they make it worse by having some quests have alternate ways of dealing with them, and the game doesn't tell you how to do it. It's just like, you figure it out. Good luck with that shit. So, if you want my honest opinion, you may want to have a guide open at times. You may do, because I had 4 quests in total get ruined. One of them, the game didn't tell me at all where to go, right? And when I went to speak to someone, it said, do this. I did that. The quest ended, and it came, you know, I failed it in a way because I didn't retrieve all the evidence, but the game never fucking told me where to go with that evidence or what to do with evidence. It said nothing at all. There was no even hint about it whatsoever. The quests are just, they're not good enough, if you want my opinion. I've had quests lie by saying I did something when I didn't. A good example of, do I tell you? Fuck it, I'll tell you, but I'll try and keep it. I won't mention who. You have a decision at one point to tell an NPC the fate of something. You could choose to tell them or not tell them. And I chose not to tell them. And I went off and done my own thing. The quest got updated as I was doing my own thing. And it said in the quest log that the person knew, you know, about the fate of certain people when I never told them. It's just the game just straight up fucking made its own story or made its own solution up when there was no way they would have been told. No way they would have been told at all. We had NPCs getting themselves killed, which bugged. I had the quest, the Griffin quest, get bugged because of that shit. That was fun. Pretty fucking annoyed. I wasted about 5-6 hours trying to get the Griffin quest done. That bugged. I also had a quest line bug at endgame as well. Something was supposed to happen and it didn't. Even someone in chat, Little Matt at the time, was trying to help me trigger it. Weren't triggering it. Went to Reddit, people complaining about it as well. So, in terms of polishing, the fucking game needs a bit of it. It does. It truly, truly, truly does. And a lot of the time, the game difficulty is because the game's fighting you back, and it's just a bit derpy at times. Gravity's a bitch in this game. More than 2 meters, and you're pretty much dead. And in terms of the replayability, you end up fighting the same mobs all the fucking time. And this is probably one of the biggest killers for me, is that they really, really didn't get out there and explore mystical creatures, legendary creatures, certain things that adds the variety, boosts the variety, and makes it more fun to play, because the variety of mobs is huge. It's not. In this fucking game, it is shallow as fuck. You will end up fighting Solarians, the lizards, 30% of the time. Bandits, 30% of the time. Skeletons, 20% of the time. Harpies, all the time. Fuckers, hate harpies. And then the same mystical giant monsters over and over and over and over and over again. The game variety for monsters in Dragon's Dogma 2 is a massive, massive letdown. I couldn't be more disappointed, if you want my honest opinion. And that's definitely going to impact the score. Because, again, this is the second game of a very successful predecessor, in my opinion, Dragon's Dogma, or Dark Arisen if you played the DLC with it. And you would expect, again, that a sequel would carry more weight to it. More weight, more enemies, more just everything needs to be more. Not the case. This game is boring at times, very tedious with the running around, and it's just the variety is just not there. If you want my opinion, it's not there, and they definitely missed the ball with it. I didn't struggle other than that. I didn't. I got to a point where my character and my pawns were so OP, we were downing dragons like that. It was fun, but it got very easy, very fast, near end game for me. I was killing all the high tier shit super quick. Any game customization and stats building, it being an RPG, the character customization is pretty good. It's missing a few color palettes here and there, if you want my opinion. And they could have done a lot better around the color palette system itself. But the character customization is pretty good. It's pretty good. And I was able to spend a good amount of time to make sure that my character was stunning. She was cute as fuck. And I made my side character, the pawn that follows me around all the time, I made her an identical character to me. So it's like a twin sister type story thing. So when friends borrowed my pawn, it looked like you basically got my main character in your game. And I thought that was a pretty cool idea. I really did. So the customization is pretty good. You can't color. You can't. I'm trying to find the right word. It would have been nice if I could color the armor in the sequel to this. I found some dyes, but found out later that they just weren't. They weren't armor dyes. They were character dyes, and that was a bit of a bummer, like real big bummer. Because I found a really nice armor suit, and I wanted to color it all black, and no, don't go there. So yeah, good. I would say good character customization. Yeah, be warned, you will spend quite a hefty amount of time in those menus. If you want your character to look the way that you want to, you may even go onto YouTube and just try to find certain character customization options. I've seen people running around as celebrities. They look very, very close to the celebrity as well. And that's a pretty cool aspect in the game where you can make the character look as identical as you can get them. Stats building, you can't manually increase the stats across the board, like your health, your stamina and stuff like that. It's controlled by the experience system in the game. When you level up, certain stats go up, and then you can also find weapons and armor that'll increase your damage output and increase your defense output. There are some rings that you can equip that can also boost your ailments, boost your protection, and they're fun to find as well. I did enjoy the gift giving system in the game because I wanted to woo certain characters, but I was massively disappointed that you can only romance 2 females, and that was it. I ran around as a female character, and you are unable to romance and receive a cutscene of romance with anyone other than the 2 females. And that just seems fucking lazy. That really did. Because the first game, you could do a hell of a lot more than that. You could romance a lot of people in the first game, but in the second game, 2 characters only. You get an exclusive cutscene with them. That was it. And that sucked massively for me. Because I wanted to do a lot of romancing. But the game wouldn't let me because, you know, coded in the way it was, you could only do 2. Story, if applicable, if you want my honest, drop-dead opinion, without spoilers, the first story in Dragon's Dogma is better. This story had massive potential. I mean, absolutely humongous fucking potential. It could have blown the first story way out of the water. And they don't. It's mediocre at best. It's not filled with much excitement. It's not filled with much drama. It's a suck fest, really. It truly is. The story is just not as good as it could have been. They opened it up pretty well. The concept is good. The idea that they give you at the beginning is very, very, very good for what's going on. But the deliverance is fucking appalling. And it's just not good. It's in my opinion, it's just not well done at all. They could have done it in so many ways way better. But the key character that held all the weight that they could have utilized and made the game better had fuck all spotlighting in the game. They were pushed aside so often that they were just like a side bit of meat just dangling in the background. If they would have utilized that character properly and allowed them to really fucking go for it, your story could have been 3-4 times better straight off the bat. But you didn't. You pushed one of the biggest characters aside and you went, fuck him. And that kills it. It does. It destroys it really heavily for me. Online co-op modes, features, and stability, there is none. I did beg. I was begging to them when Dragon's Dogma 2 was announced. Please make Dragon's Dogma 2 co-op so I can play with my friends. And you fucking didn't. You stuck with yet again the pawn system, which is identical from the first game, which is a very good system, but it's the same shit, different plastic. When allow me to host my own domain, host my own game, bring a friend in, play with a friend, you make way more sales in games when you add co-op automatically, because that person's going to recommend it to their friend if they're enjoying it and they can play together. You decided to go with the comfortable route, stick with what you've already got, and not evolve it at all, like whatsoever. It's the same thing again, and that's a shame. That is a big shame. I would have loved to have played this with a friend. Purchase price versus a digital price. The base game physical is £59. I had to pay 60 quid for it. The digital is £62, so just a couple of quid more. Is the game worth that? Well, that's the end question, isn't it? Microtransactions. There are microtransactions in this game, and they're all fucking shit. They are a complete waste of money, because pretty much everything that they offer you in the microtransaction aspect of this game, you can get in the game by playing the game. And like 98% of all the items that you can buy in the store for microtransactions, they're not as useful as you think they are. They're not. They're scrub items. They really are. And yet they want you to spend more money because fucking Capcom is starting to copy fucking EA with its microtransaction bullshit, and it's starting to charge you stupid prices for shit you don't need. You could just unlock it in the game, play the fucking game, and you'll get it in the game. But that's just my opinion. Additional notes taken. I mean, the game has photo mode, which is always nice. Oh, I don't even know why this is not a fucking thing in this game. In most RPGs, you spend so much goddamn time customizing your character's looks that you'd love to see your character's face as often as possible. Even to a point where the game's developers are happy to install a feature called Hide Helmet, so you can see your glorious character's face while you're in cutscenes and you're doing stuff. Not this game. If you've got a chunky big boy helmet on your head and you want to see your character, you're gonna have to take it off. There is no hide helmet option in this game, and that's stupid as fuck, in my opinion. Really stupid. The AI system is not greatly improved. They kill themselves a lot. I've had pawns jump off cliffs, drown, jump off cliffs, drown, throw themselves off cliffs, drown, run off in the wrong direction, run in circles for 5 minutes until they figure out they can walk a couple of spaces towards where you are. The AI in this game is fucking awful for a 2024 game, if you want my opinion. It's awful. It's as if they just cloned the AI intelligence from the first game, sprinkled it with a bit of salt, and they went, there you go, you fucking deal with them yourself. They could have massively improved the AI in this game, and they haven't done that. If you want my opinion, they haven't done that. Fucking the fact that the player can be interrupted at most points by other players' pawns approaching you and taking the camera away from what you're doing because they want to tempt you into inviting them to your party, even if your party is full. Capcom, if you ever see this fucking video, fucking change that, please. Please roll down an update that if your party is full, that the pawns that are in the open world never interrupt you. Because you've got me killed a few times while playing the game because I got fucking distracted, or the camera turned at the worst possible angle, and when I came out of the menu and I looked back, my character fucking fell down the mountain slope and died. If I have a full party, I don't want to bring anyone into my group. Add an update that stops pawns talking to you if your party is full. If not, add the update anyway, even if your party isn't full, and give the player the choice to turn that shit off. Because I despised it. I got to a point I was hating every time it happened, and it wasn't a fun experience. Simply having your weapon drawn is enough to trigger certain NPCs, yeah. Even if you weren't attacking them, just having your weapon out angers NPCs, so just be very, very, very careful with where you go with that. Also be very, very careful when you enter certain jail areas. NPCs will not warn you. and they'll straight up attack the shit out of you. If they, if you're within a certain range, they'll just start attacking you. No weapon and armor crafting. Yeah. The crafting system and the recipe crafting system in this game is fucking dog shit compared to the first game. The first game gives you so much freedom with exploring, with mixing stuff together. It's amazing. It's so well done. In this game, no. They give you 90% of the recipes for free, so you don't have much to find to mix together. To be fair, it's just, this whole fucking game is a massive step back from its predecessor. It truly is. My voice is starting to fucking go. I can hear it. I am so sick. It's unreal that I'm still alive right now. 114 fucking hours I put into this game. 40 out of 55 achievements. And did I end the game being satisfied? No. At times the game did have its high points, but overall the first game's better. In my opinion, the first game is better. It is. And that game's fucking 10 years old. Ish. Maybe more than that. Ish. What do I rate it? And would I recommend buying it? Would I recommend you go out and buy this game right now? No. Would I recommend that you go out and buy Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen? Yes. Fuck yes. For a game that's 10 years older to be better, in my opinion, yes. 100%. It'll be a far cheaper game. Far cheaper game for you to pick up. And you get more content. And it's a better game, in my opinion. Dragon's Dogma 2 just seems to be a copy and paste with sprinkles of extra bullshit. It is. So what would I rate it? The game works. Looks okay. Sounds okay. Mediocre story, which is the biggest thing about these games. The story. The lack of enemy variety, which is a massive fucking boner killer. You really didn't. You could have picked up a fucking book about mystical creatures, hydras, Cerberuses, fucking giant spider boss fights. You really could have outdone yourselves on this game, Capcom. You really could have, but you, in my opinion, played it way too goddamn safe, and you were scared to really push the limits. So you just went right click, copy, paste, done. Fuck it, fuck them, spend and charge 60 quid for the game. Would I recommend you go out and buy this? No, not at all. Play the first one first. If you fall in love with the first one and you absolutely must have the second one, wait for the second one to hit a sale. What would I rate it? 114 hours. Did I have fun? Could have had way more fun. Overall, not impressed. Can I get that time back? No. An average game. At times, below average with how weak the story is. So, with everything taken into consideration and how much passion that I had for the first game, I'm happy scoring this. Just a fucking mediocre scoring, just like the story. 4.5 out of 10. Below average. That's it. Simple as. I need a little button on my desk that I can push that does like a firework and right. I did say at the beginning of the review, and this is staying in this video for YouTube as well. I did say at the very beginning of the review that I have some important stuff I need to talk about. For a long time, I have been working my ass off so hard, especially for YouTube videos as well, the recordings and the reviews, because I wanted them to do well. I really wanted them to succeed, and that hasn't been the case for a long time, and I've been burning myself out hardcore on these videos to get them done and to put the time into the game and to really make the review something to, you know, shine and be something proud of. And I'm not proud of my reviews. I haven't been proud of my reviews for a while because I don't think people enjoy them. I don't think people care. I've been streaming for 10 years, you know. I've had lots of ups and lots of downs in the streaming industry, and with the videos that I do on YouTube, I put, you can go through them. I work my ass off. I really, really, really do. And it's not a case of will they do well. It's a case of they never do well. They don't. They never do. They're probably too long. People probably just skip through them just to hear the scoring and they're just done with them. So I'm taking a step back at the moment. That's my mindset, is I feel I should take a step back. And not a temporary one as well. So this could potentially be my very last review for YouTube, and even my last review for streaming. Because I'm tired. I'm ill a lot recently as well. I am very, very, very sick. And even when I'm sick, I still stream and I still push out these videos. Because again, I want, you guys deserve it, you know. For the people that support the channel with subscriptions, you know, I want to give you the fucking world with my videos. And I'm tired. You know, I work my ass off every time on everything I do, and I'm tired. I'm exhausted. So at present, I'm taking, I'd say, a permanent step back from reviews, because my health should come first. And I have a baby boy, and he's gorgeous. I love him so much. He's only, 3 months old, and I want to smooch him and cuddle him to death, and I fucking love him. I do. And I can't kill myself for something that's not working. I shouldn't kill myself in general, and unalive myself. Work my ass off to death is what I mean. So yeah, we'll see. That's my mindset at the moment. I'll keep you guys updated in Discord. For everyone that does watch these videos on YouTube, I love you so fucking much. Thank you. Thank you so much. Without you, I wouldn't have made it this far. 10 years. The Discord has been converted into a very, very large community hub. Very large. I've spent over a month reaching out to everyone that I've known in the past 10 years to bring people over. And if you watch my YouTube videos and you consider yourself a regular and you're not in the Discord, hit me up in the messages in the comments, and I'll see if I can get you in. I appreciate you all. Thank you. So from me on YouTube, stay safe, stay healthy, stay well, take care of yourselves, love yourselves, care for yourselves. I'll see you soon. Take care.